Welcome back here to Boreo's 8891 McDonald's Parkway in Cicero, New York. We are here with Seeing Orange with Red, right here, to my right, and if you're watching here, well, yeah, to my right there. So it makes sense to my right and to my right, Adrian Autry. Sorry, the mirrors confuse me, folks. We're here right now from Boreo's. Seeing Orange with Red is where we talk about all things Syracuse basketball with Adrian Autry, and of course, I'm Dan Tortora here with you on WakeUpCallDT.com and YouTube.com/WakeUpCallDT. Either way you go, you get Wake Up Call TV. We're happy to be here at Boreo's as always, and you got to see some USA basketball. You got to see two exhibition games with your children, and got to see them in Madison Square Garden. So first and foremost, what was it like being back at MSG again?
Well, since the last time we played, they've renovated it and really made it nice. But it was nice. It was good to be back there. At an event like that, which was very patriotic for the USA team, and so it was good. And then the Dominican national team and the Puerto Rican national team, which we all know down in New York City, they have a great following. It's a big population of Puerto Rican and Dominican nationality down there. So the game was, it was pretty good.
When you're watching this game and you get to kind of just hang out, relax, and watch the game, you're not coaching the game, this isn't your team. When you get to do that, are you still, do you get fidgety in your seat, kind of want to say something to them, or can you just sit back and relax?
No, I'm more when I'm watching those games. I'm kind of watching the sets and seeing how coaches, trying to learn really watching the game. Once you become a coach, you watch the game in a different perspective than just you just don't watch it. You watching different things, sets and how the spacing and how they execute and coming out of timeouts. I'm taking notes and then watching all that stuff and seeing stuff that I think is good. Plays and where they run them and things like that.
When you're there watching it with your family, how are they watching the game? Are they just pumped and excited to see USA basketball? How are your kids handling that when you're there?
Well, they're fans. They want to see their favorite players.
Okay.
They just want to see them score baskets and block shots and dunk, so they enjoy it.
You said they got to meet some of the players. You brought your sons with you?
Yeah, I brought both of my boys with me. They had a chance to take some pictures. I think they got a picture with Kyrie Irving. They got a picture with Anthony Davis. I want to say Derrick Rose and a couple other guys. I can't remember all of them, but those are the ones, they came, Dad, look, I got the picture of this. So, that was good. And the guys in USA, they were very, I was thinking Rudy Gay, they were good. They took time off to take pictures with those guys. These guys are amazing guys. Everyone's around them. So to get a picture with them is pretty impressive.
When you're watching USA basketball and you're seeing these pro players out there, the NBA gets not the greatest reputation of not being a team sport, not caring about team, that it's 1 versus 5, just go out there and score. Do you see a different game when you have all these players from, different teams that are together? Do you see this USA team really come together and form a bond and form a team, as opposed to the stereotype that the NBA has nothing to do with team?
I absolutely do. Coach K does an unbelievable job of getting those guys to buy into the team. And when you watch it, whenever you watch the USA teams, you see those guys standing up, cheering for each other, pulling for each other. They check their egos at the door, and I think Coach K does an unbelievable job of that.
Coach K and Jim Boeheim together, they've done this for so many years. Is it different now? Does it feel different knowing that these are two guys that are going up against each other, which they never wanted to do, but now being coaches for the USA team and then having to go into the regular season and face each other, do you feel a difference in the environment?
I don't. For me personally, it's a game that you want to win. It's a game on a schedule, and you want to try to win as many games as possible.
Right.
I think it's great for the media and the anticipation and the hype and the drama, because of their friendship and their close relationship of being on USA basketball. I think both of those guys, are professional, and when it comes, once they finish USA, now it's back to Duke and Syracuse. So I think they do a good job of separating the two.
How do you see Jim Boeheim transition back from being with USA basketball and then coming to coach his own team at Syracuse? Is there ever like a that point where he's got to switch over?
You know what? I was saying to Jerry McNamara the other day, I said it must be hard for Coach Boeheim and Coach Hopkins, after spending so much time with these elite professionals, the best players in the world, and to come back and kind of your eyes have to get readjusted to 19-year-old, 20-year-old kids that are trying to become really, really good players. For me, I would assume it has to be some type of adjustment at some point in time, but they've been doing it for a while, so I guess they get it. But that was the question I want to know too. I was just like, I wonder how different is it? Coming back watching coaching Derrick Rose, DeMarcus Cousins, and Rudy Gay. You tell them one thing and they, boom, it's done.
Yeah.
And with kids, with our guys, you got to teach it a little bit more. You got to rep it a little bit more, and break down a little bit more. Sometimes they get it, sometimes they don't.
Because I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I would want to be a Trevor Cooney, a Tyler Roberson, Raheem Christmas if Jim Boeheim just got off the plane from coaching USA basketball and I make one mistake in practice that first day.
No, I think at another point, I think it puts things in perspective. That you are coaching in college and these are kids, and they're gonna make some mistakes. I think it may put it a little in perspective for them as well too.
What was the best thing that you saw from USA basketball? I know you talked about your kids taking pictures with Anthony Davis, Derrick Rose, Kyrie Irving, guys that they like. What did you take away from that when you're kind of breaking it down piece by piece? What did you like about what you saw?
Well, I thought it was probably one of the best shooting teams offensively that we've had in a while. With Klay Thompson and Steph Curry and Kyrie. We got guys that they can shoot the basketball. I thought it was more guard heavy than the past. In the past we've been more wing, oriented, perimeter oriented. Now you need more guard oriented, more like, combos, guys that can score, guys that can play a couple of positions. Not that we didn't have that in the past. It was a smaller team, a younger team as well. So
USA basketball, when you're watching it, like you said, it was very patriotic in Madison Square Garden. When you're watching this team and you're seeing all these guys come together, the dream team, above all things, is the one that everybody remembers. When you Karl Malone's, your John Stockton, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, on and on and on. When you see the team now, when you see USA basketball and they're warming up and they got USA across their chest, what type of feelings going through you? Because, you're a basketball fan, but even when you're not, you see the country on the chest of a team. That means something. What does it mean now?
Well, for me, I'll take it a little bit further. I was still playing professionally in Europe the year, I believe it was 2008 or 6 that they lost. They took third place.
Okay, yeah.
And I remember going into practice, and it was just like, hey, they beat USA and USA lost, and you just seen it. It was just like, I lived in Europe. It was one of the biggest things in the basketball community. Not, there's bigger things going on, but that was a big win. And I thought, to myself at that time, wow. I think we've taken this thing for granted for a while that we were just going to win, and it meant so much. So now I think, where we may not have been as patriotic, now I believe we are more patriotic, and it is a big event, and it is a bigger deal. And I think that has a lot to do with Coach K as well. But I think from that loss, and once we brought our professional teams, I think, USA and the support has been more patriotic than anything, and including, which is, two different things, two different gravities as far as the severity of different things. But even after the event of the 9/11, I think when you have these type of things going on now, I think the United States have gotten behind and supported a lot more than when I was growing up and watching USA. It was one of those things back then. It was just another event. USA is playing. Now, when USA is playing World Cup, everybody's, bars and restaurants, you just feel it throughout, I think the country.
Spain is one of those teams that's really come up in international basketball. What does international, you played, like you said, you played overseas. A lot of guys do. Guys from Syracuse, like Josh Pace playing overseas, Brandon Trish overseas. what have you seen as far as how the past was and how the present is with basketball now? Because it seems like overseas, across the Atlantic Ocean, when you're seeing these teams, you're not seeing teams that, like before, oh, USA, they're going to play and they're going to beat them. It doesn't matter. It was just insert name here.
Right.
But now you have teams like Spain that have really figured out ways to keep it close and be an effective team. So how have you kind of seen the climate change in the basketball world, not just the basketball country of the United States?
Well, I think Europe has gotten better. I believe one of the things is internet. Guys being able to have more access to what's going on over here.
Yeah.
The one thing about being in Europe is that, most of the time these guys, they start playing on these club teams and they practice 2 times a day and go to school. And they're practicing with the professionals. So you've seen that, and I think once you start having the Tony Parkers and, these guys go and have some success in the NBA, and then they come back, I think they're a big influence, and they're impactful, and I think the other people that's in that country growing up see someone from their country go and have success. Now they start believing that I can have success, and they start working a little bit harder, and they start, being able to put on, type in something and watch a Steph Curry workout on video, or they can purchase it. So I think the access, them being more accessible to what we do in America, and the fact that, you have the Paul Gasols and, these different guys coming over and flourishing in the NBA, I think it just breeds confidence in them. And I think the game, even Yao Ming, you forget, those guys like that.
Yeah.
The game has grown worldwide.
With the game growing worldwide, there is a very small amount every year that can be drafted from the thousands of players that are available just from Division I, not including Division II or Division III, or any junior college players that are coming out and whatever they're doing. So there's so many different opportunities that somebody has to make it to the NBA, but there's a very finite number that's going to make it. With that number in America and the thousands of players you can choose from.
You guys want a blanket? We'll drink. Hello. While you're waiting there.
Oh, we're good.